one of the main objectives of the program is to protect and enhance the values of our estuaries, and we're really fortunate in this part of the world. We have an amazing complex of estuaries. There's 8 different systems, and I guess what they provide is this unique, dynamic and highly complex systems that support birds, plants and fish that really don't occur anywhere else on the coastline. We have an amazing mix between the freshwater of our catchments and the seawater of the Southern Ocean, and that creates this estuarine environment which is so important ecologically, but provides such amazing, I guess, socio and recreational benefits to our communities, and all these values are very important and very critical to look after. So our boundary goes from Warrnambool across to the South Australian border at Nelson. There's 220 kilometres of coastline and 8 estuaries. 6 of those estuaries are classified as intermittently closed estuaries, and they are the Hopkins, the Merri, the Ambuck Lake, the Fitzroy, the Surrey and Glenelg estuaries. We deliver a range of different projects on our estuaries. Monitoring is a big one. We have a range of community-based monitoring and I guess remote sense monitoring. We look at water levels, water quality, particularly things like dissolved oxygen salinity. We have 2 passionate and fantastic groups, 2 estuary watch groups on the Hopkins and Merri estuaries, and they're just amazing people that are so passionate and dedicated. They give up their own time to monitor our estuaries, take really important criticals in our site assessment information, and that feeds directly into our decision process. So without our volunteers, this program wouldn't be possible.
Volunteering, I love volunteering. It feels like giving back to the community. It feels like I'm helping with the health of this ecosystem, so it's there for my kids and their kids and on into the future. It brings people out, brings people together. We've got people in their 80s and myself in their 30s that are coming to do something like this once a month. It's good fun. The Merri River's pretty special to me. I want to try and keep it in a good health.
We do a lot of work on the riverbank, so things such as weed control, revegetation, trying to manage, say, stock access, floodplain management, and also a lot of infrastructure work to sort of try and improve, I guess, the amenity of our estuaries. Our estuaries are highly dynamic, the water levels change naturally, and what we've done is put a lot of floating structures in, such as boat ramps and jetties, which enable people to use the estuaries at all different times of the year. So provide safe, appropriate, universal access, regardless of the season and regardless of the water level. During, I guess, mouth closure periods and elevated water level, we work very closely with our partners, particularly the land managers at the estuary mouth. Here on the Hopkins, it's Warrnambool City Council. So for thousands of years, the estuary mouths along this part of the coastline have closed naturally, and for a long time that wasn't accepted as a good thing, but now we know it is. It drives critical biodiversity processes and really underpins, I guess, the birds, the fish and the plants that call estuaries home. So one of the best things we can do is allow that closure to happen, try to minimise any intervention with the estuary mouth, and basically build better infrastructure and better management of the floodplain to ensure that we don't have to constantly modify the estuary mouth and the state of the estuary, I guess, for human needs. So one aspect of the program is the consideration still of artificial estuary mouth openings. For a long time, I guess in European settlement, that was done in an unregulated manner. But we now know there's a lot of things that can go wrong if they're done inappropriately. Firstly, there's really strict policy and legislation over who can do it. You can't go and, I guess, just dig a river mouth open when you choose. The CMA, however, we are the authorised body to make that decision. We are the water managers under state law. Each estuary has different sort of levels which, I guess, impact different people, particularly socio-economic assets. So when the mouth has been closed for a certain period of time and water levels are impacting those assets, we do need to consider looking at openings. We always undertake an impact assessment, so we're looking at the different aspects to basically make sure it is really safe ecologically to open an estuary mouth, and then the other aspect comes into the feasibility of a safe, appropriate and effective opening.
And then that's followed by the City Council doing the physical works of opening the river. Hi, my name is Paddy O'Brien. I'm a cadet engineer at the Warrnambool City Council. So the Warrnambool City Council's role is in taking care of the Hopkins and Merri River is that we are the land manager. So that involves looking after the infrastructure along the river. Warrnambool City Council's got a very strong and ongoing relationship with the CMA and works with the common goal of looking after and managing the wonderful estuaries that we have.
One of the key components of our estuary management program is community engagement. So we try and run a range of different events and activities aimed at, I guess, involvement, education and awareness. Things such as litter clean-up days we help support, We try and work with angling clubs and different community groups, both high school, primary school, TAFE and universities. And we work hard to sort of try and, I guess, promote our estuaries and educate people about the different processes of our estuaries, the different needs of our estuaries, and really, I guess, trying to improve that appreciation so, you know, the community can actually foster and advocate for the protection and management of the estuaries. We wouldn't be able to deliver our program without the partnership of key agencies and stakeholders such as different councils, Parks Victoria and the department.